So the first thing I'm wanting to talk about is how I get my inspiration for when I design. The majority of my audience is female, and so I tend to design more for the female aesthetic. However, a growing amount of my clientele is male. And so I have been wanting to do a little bit more research, kind of get the aesthetic that I'm really wanting to nail down. So I thought, what a better way of figuring out what that is than to go to some fashion stores and look through their websites. I just want to see what the similarities are between all of the websites, what their aesthetic, what their vibe is, and see if I can't recreate that in my own marketing pieces. So the first one I thought of was Men's Warehouse. So I just go to their main page. I don't even dig into their pages. The one thing that I am seeing is lots of camo and army green, lots of dark green and grays still, again with the green here. They are doing a lot of monochromatic, which means it's the same color, but maybe different shades. So that is something that I'm seeing throughout a lot of the websites, not just men, but female too. And I do think that that is going to be a very big design trend throughout 2022. It's very eye-catching because a lot of times if you use a different shade of a color, it kind of pops and it almost makes it look 3D. So I think that is why a lot of people like to design with the monochromatic theme. So, okay, we're going to just keep going here. I really like the Men's Warehouse logo. I feel like it's very clean and crisp, and I do think that that is a theme that you'll see throughout the other websites I'll take you to. You can also see here where it says Give Joy. I like the chunky text on it, and sorry, I'm trying to figure out here how to grab my chat. Okay, there it is. And so you will see more of a masculine is more the thicker, chunkier text. Like I said here, they Give Joy. And so that's something to kind of take note of. I'm going to jump over to Express. Express is probably the middle of the ground when it comes to edginess out of the three I picked today. I love Express. I shop there. So, of course, it was something that was, top of mind for me. Okay, I'm sorry about this. I'm going to figure out how to let everyone in here. Admit. This is a learning process for me too, folks. Okay, I don't need to see myself, right? Okay, so Express, I like the really squareness of this website. That's something that jumps out to me is the nice thick text. It's a little bit more condensed. I like that. It has a little bit more of a masculine approach. And again, pretty heavy on the black and white, but also you'll see shades of green and blue again. This looks like just a simple font here that's a little bit more expanded than up here, as you see. So it does give it a little bit more of a volume, I would say, when you're looking at it. I like that. I also really like a lot of the square images. So just very clean. Okay, so that is, the other thing I wanted to show you down here was I like to look at how they do their buttons. A lot of buttons anymore are square or rounded corners, correct? So I like to look, okay, they have square corners, and it also mimics the square of the images. So those are some of the things that are really important to kind of look at when you're thinking about design. Okay, now I'm gonna jump to the most edgy, and my favorite is Tom Ford. I love Tom Ford. My favorite perfume collection is from Tom Ford, so of course this is where I wanted to go. I love his logo, just a simple, chunky text, and you might be surprised to know that his font is actually just an Arial font. I love it, and simple, clean, and crisp. Again, Tom Ford is kind of known for his black and white, but he did not disappoint. Just so you know, if anyone needs to, the rose prick is amazing. So is the bitter peach. So pick those up if you have a chance. All right. So here is my super awesome tip when I am looking at these websites. And it is a website called What the Font. It's a great, funny, catchy name, right? You can go to this on your phone, and I would suggest to actually keep this in your bookmark bar on your phone, because you can take screenshots and upload it to this website, and it will tell you the exact font, as best as it can, that the website is using. It'll even help you pick which font you are wanting to know the name of. So here again, you can see this is a place that you can drag and drop your image. And there is a lot of really great things on here. The one thing, if you're going to use on your desktop, is you can actually add this to as a Chrome extension, which is amazing, and I use it all the time. You'll put a little F with a question mark up in your Chrome extension, and I'm going to show you right now what it looks like when you use it. So if you jump over to Tom Ford, and I click on what the font's little icon here on, oops, sorry, on my Chrome, click the wrong one, it will actually tell me every single font on the entire website. Look, Arial. It's so simple, guys. Oh my goodness. I think we all want to really complicate design, and Arial is one of the oldest fonts in the book. So if you hover over any of these fonts, you know, obviously they use the same font throughout, which is great. It'll show you. We're going to jump over to Express, and I'm going to hit that button again. Maybe I got all these tabs open. Okay. Oh, goodness. There we go. Here we go. This is also, so Express actually has their own font, which doesn't surprise me. Lots of really high-end or well-known brands do. And you see on the screen, it says Express sans medium. That is not something you're going to find on the internet to reproduce. So it's, you can sometimes Google if you find something that is very specific to the brand, like something that they've designed themselves. You can Google it, and lots of times you can find a comparable font that you can use. So that is kind of a really good behind the scenes way of how I really get my mind working and brainstorming on what I want to design and how I want to design it. Now, I'm just using this as an example. We're actually not going to use some of this stuff tonight. We are going to do a postcard, and I thought it would be fun if you guys told me in the comments exactly what kind of postcard you would want. I have a couple of options, so I'm going to, I have no idea how to do a poll, so I'm just going to ask. We can do, oh, so sorry. We can do a save the date, which is fun. I've never done one of these. I thought it would be a really cute play on weddings and save the date for your marriage, but you could do a save the date for your closing date. Or we can do a just listed or just sold. So those are your two options. I would love it if you guys would drop a comment in the message box centered around the moving guide. Okay, we can do some moving tips as an option as well. Save the date. Okay, save the dates are getting a lot of loving right now. I think that could be fun, and we can kind of see where that goes. And alrighty. So when I design a postcard, I usually like to have it where you can get it in a 7x5, 4¼ by 5½, and then I usually do a social media post with it. I'm going to show you how you can resize everything right on Canva, and that way it's like one design times 3, which is amazing. So we are going to jump back over here to Canva, and we are just going to postcard here. Cool. Sorry, I would normally, I wonder if I can send this over here and say I would normally just do it this way. Okay, guys, thank you all for being so patient with me. This is my first Canva training, and so I'm excited. I have been a real estate agent for 14 years, and there we go. I have been a designer for 15, so this is right up my alley. I love doing all things design. Now, remember, I've been working with Canva, I think they were maybe a year old, and when I first started using Canva, you actually had to ask for an invitation to join, and I think I was on the waiting list for several months before I was ever allowed on, so I've been using it a very long time. Okay, 7x5. Oh, sorry. Create new design. Again, guys, if you have questions, please feel free to drop that in the comments, and I will try to get to those as everyone. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's awesome. I'll try to get to those as everybody asks. Okay, so just bear with me here. Okay. Give me just a second. all these windows. I'm not used to this. So I do live here in Topeka, Kansas, and it is cold and rainy here lately, but I guess that is probably to be expected. Okay, so save the date. Here we go. I'm ready. Are you? All right, let's let a couple of more people in. All right, so I'm gonna start out with a standard 7x5. Here are a couple of tips, and I'm going to let you guys know this is maybe more of a not necessarily a very beginner training. This is going to be a little bit more for the middle, the chunky middle people here, meaty middle, whatever you guys like to call yourselves. But this is not super advanced, but also not beginners. So here we go. I am not a fan of stark white, so typically I like to do a cream. If you guys know me, you've probably seen that in a lot of my designs. So another thing here is I always like to turn on my rulers, and I like to have show guides, and I'll explain that in a moment. And then if the bleed line is something that whoever your printer is request, you can turn bleed lines on right here while you're designing. You'll want to keep, and this is actually pretty important for postcards, you'll want to keep all of your design inside of the bleed line that you see here. Anything outside of that has the risk of being cut off. So it's very important. We'll probably put graphics outside that line, but it's really, really important that you make sure all of your text is inside of that line. Now, I don't usually design with that on. I don't know why. I think maybe it's a little distracting, I suppose. Okay, so save the date. Usually it says save the date, then their names, and like whenever they're getting married. So I'm thinking that maybe you could put a picture of the house that they are closing on. I love that idea. So we're just gonna throw up a stock image of a house exterior. Now, all of my designs are always interchangeable, and I try my hardest to use images and elements that are free. However, I will say Canva does change what they offer as a free element and what they offer as a paid element quite frequently. So I have a really hard time keeping control of that. Like I said, I do try, but it's not always perfect. If you guys don't have Canva Pro, I highly recommend it. It is not very expensive. I think it's $12.99 a month, and you get so many things for free, especially they're really coming far with their video. Okay, so I think let's do, I'm gonna go with this one. And the reason why I'm picking this one is it is a little bit further away, and I want it to be a vertical image because I want the text beside it, not below or above it. I just think that's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So you're going to see, sorry, I'm just trying to check everyone. Oh, I agree. Yes, I love Canva. So these corner pieces, or these corner dots here, are to make it bigger and smaller, but keeping the aspect ratio, which is nice. But if you don't want to do that and you want to crop it more, you're going to use these bars here. So we're going to pull it in so we can make it into more of a vertical image. Now I'm going to move it over here to the corner, and then I'm going to pull it down. And so that I don't necessarily love because it is cropping out a little bit. We have a little bit of extra space here, and we're losing some of the house here. So how to fix that? You're going to click on the image, and then we're going to double click it again. Okay, so now you can see the part of the image that is cut off. And so all we need to do is click and drag it over, and it is going to straighten up that image. So I really just kind of want to get in all of the garage so you can just really see the house. Now that's nice. However, okay, now I'm thinking I'm seeing their garage too much, and I don't know if I like that. So let's try the same home, but maybe a more frontal image of it. And I think I might like that one better. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the side image or the front of the house image better? So on this one, we can definitely get the whole house in there. So that's great. Now you might have a question that says, what if my people don't have like these super nice houses? And I'm going to say, it doesn't matter if they what kind of house that they're buying. I'm going to tell you, they're going to be so excited to buy that house that they will love this. So I'm really excited to make this. Okay, so the other thing I like to do before I do too much more design is I really like to get all of my font on the graphic, or excuse me, on the template, so that way I can really start sizing out the images. the fonts. Your images and your fonts are going to be the most important thing I'm sorry guys, give me just a second. I have the worst ring light. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Okay, so now we're gonna add our font in so that way we can build out our design based on our font size. So I'm going to do, I think I would like this design to maybe lean towards more of a fun, feminine side again, because I have a feeling it's gonna be the ladies that like this the most. Because I think if you said, do you know what a save the date is to a man, they might not know. Okay, we're gonna say save. And you know what? I'm gonna actually make these words all separate because I think I might want them different sizes and fonts. So over in your Canva, if you guys go to your home screen here and you scroll down to your brand kit, you're gonna click that, and here's where you can see all of your fonts, all of your uploaded fonts, all of your logos, and all of your brand colors. You can add these in. You can upload as many fonts. I'm gonna show you guys, look how many fonts I have uploaded. I upload fonts all the time because while they have some really amazing fonts already in Canva, there are just some that aren't there. The one that I just did this evening before this training was the Gotham book, and that was the one that I found in the Tom Ford site. And I just went to Google and I typed in that font and I found it for free. So like I said, that is a great tool to use. And so I really encourage it. Now, I will admit that fonts are the thing that I get hung up on the most because there's just something about fonts that make me feel like it'll make or break a design. So I think for this one, we're gonna have some fun. And I am going to get on my soapbox for just a moment about cursive fonts. Let me find a good one that I can really show you guys what I mean here. I like this one a lot. I think that it looks very, Lakeisha, there's something about fonts. I love them and hate them all at the same time. I like this one because it does look like a very nice cursive handwriting. It looks like a real person wrote it. And I feel like on a save the date card, it's going to need to be a little bit more personal. And so I feel like a hand script is going to be the way to go. So one thing I want you guys to not do, and I actually see this being sold in stores, and it is just one of those things, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Please do not do this to your cursive fonts. Please, please, please don't do this, okay? Cursive fonts are supposed to touch each other. Oh, that's a really good question. I apologize, this is an uploaded font. It's called England. It is free if you Google it, and you can just upload it very quickly into Canva. That's a good point. I might look for another one just to show you guys what's already in Canva. Oh yes, Laura, I love that too. Yes, open houses, everything, perfect. So here I would always make sure that your that your font, especially cursive, is going to be set to 0 because you want your letters to touch. Okay, when you write cursive, you don't write each individual letter not touching. That's kind of the idea of cursive, right? So next time you go to Hobby Lobby, I put this in your mind now. I bet you next time you guys go and you look at those signs that have the sayings and stuff on them, it's going to start driving you crazy. And so I apologize for giving you that OCD tendency, but you'll probably never stop seeing it now. So I'm going to get off my soapbox and come back over here. So that is, how do you upload the font? That's a great question, Maria. If you come over to your brand kit, you do have to have the pro version of Canva. You go over to your brand kit here on the left-hand side, you scroll down here, and you'll see this button right here that says Upload Font. And it will upload OTF, and it will also upload TTF. So those are the two extensions that you will need to upload. So this is a whole font that I just uploaded tonight. It will also verify that you have permission to upload that font. And if you download it from a reputable website, you shouldn't have any issues with that. Okay, so now let's go back and look a little bit more for some handwriting fonts. So I just go over to handwriting, and they don't actually include all of their fonts when you do it this way. So be very careful and not think that this is your end all be all for fonts. I do like their Amsterdam fonts. Play with it a little bit. So to me, that is not very feminine. It's a little chunky, so I'm not going to go with that one. I actually use these Amsterdams for signatures quite often because I think this is actually the one I use quite a bit. I do like the curviness of it. It's just, again, a little bit more feminine. I've used Brittany. Some of the fonts, so I would be willing, I would maybe not pick a font because of how the letters would look as a capital. So be very careful with that. See, like this one, I do not like the S, but I like it in a small. So just keep that in mind when you're looking here. And that's a little bit too close. Yeah, I think on this one, I'm wanting something that is a little bit more curvy and fun and whimsical. Let's see. And I know, and another one that I really like, and I don't believe is on this list. La, la, la. That one's nice, but again, it's not connecting, so that will drive me crazy. Okay, so now I'm gonna X out of this, and I'm just gonna search for it because it is one of my favorites. It's called Big Marker. You wouldn't think it was a cursive, but it is, and it's a beautiful one. And I have been using this one a lot here lately. The only thing with it is it's not giving me the curvy vibes that I was wanting. So again, even though it's my favorite, I probably won't use this one. Let's see here. These are all my uploaded ones. I have too many. Comments if you guys have some fonts that you tend to use a lot. I would love to know what everyone else. Okay, see, this one's not super curvy, but I'm kind of feeling it. It is a little hard to read, I would say. Like, that would not be something I would probably post on the internet because it would maybe be a little bit hard. Don't like that one either. Love to know where everybody is from. If you guys wanted to drop it in the comments and let me know. That one's not bad. So, okay, another thing that I love to do. I know, I should probably just pick and move on. The other thing I like to do, if I'm not quite sure which one I like best, is I'll actually take a couple and just copy and paste it. And then I'll just change it to a couple of different ones, and then I'll just pick out of the ones that I have on there. So I'm going to do that real quick just so I can make a decision. Let's see. Okay, Rochester, of course, Arizona, Florida, Virginia, Chicago. I even saw Colorado. Miss Laura, we love that. Okay, you know what? You're probably gonna not be excited about this, but I think I might go back to England. It was still my favorite. I think we're just gonna stick with that just for sake of it. Okay. England for the save, right? Oh, you might be noticing I'm just dragging and dropping. Sarah, I'm not quite sure what you mean by font class. If you could explain that, that would be, I could maybe answer it a little bit better. Save. Okay. Now I'm not going to make the as big. And sometimes I like to kind of mix them around with their. Just a moment. Okay, so sometimes I like to move around my text. I'm not loving this, so I actually might make that over to a different font here. Okay, I love big castle. Okay. So one that I love, and Karen, oh gosh, where are you, Karen? We picked this one out when we worked on some of her design stuff. It is called Champagne and Limousines, and it is one of my favorites. It is one that I use all the time. So it's very simple. I like how the lines look. So we're going to use that one. Okay, this is looking cute. Okay, so here's another great tip. If you have an element that is behind some of these big boxes, handwriting fonts are known to be big and bulky when you, Lakeisha, I do use the font. Yes. That is probably where I download a lot of my fonts. So great question. So what I would do is you can click it, and then if you hit your control button, I'm on a Mac, but if you hit this, it'll actually select the layer right behind. And so if you have 3 or 4 layers, if you just keep selecting as you hold down that button, it will actually select the longest layer. But once you get to the layer that you want, you need to hold down your mouse button to select it. So I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to put all 3 of these over one another, and so that way you can see. So I want the word the, and so now I'm going to hold down my button. I'm going to select again. See how it selected the back image, and now I want the. There it is. So that is a really quick way of doing that. Might want that capital. And so spacing when it comes to text is very important. You can make a text look more feminine or more masculine just by the amount of spacing you give. Okay, so now I want this a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm liking how this is looking. Okay, so we're going to do that. And now, and if you want to select everything, all you do is you take your mouse, and if you click off on this gray side and hold your mouse button down, you can select everything and then resize everything all at once, which is amazing. I love that part too. Okay, let's see. How are we feeling about this? What is the #1 marketing piece that you guys use in your business? I would love to know. Do you guys like the flyers? Do you like the postcards? Sure. Okay, this is where I'm going to go to show. Okay, we already got it here. I'm just checking. I'm going to make this a really nice soft cream, I think. And I might want it a little bit lighter than that. So this is also an amazing thing that Canva just came out with. And I cannot believe it took them this long to come out with this, guys. But they finally put in a color picker. So if you pick that, you can pick any color in the image. And I love that they do the enlarger, so that way you can really get in on your different colors and pull out really nice colors from your own picture. So look, there's a nice cream right in there. So I might actually just pull straight from, okay, yeah, no, that is way too yellow. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the original. I'm gonna come over here and I'm just gonna adjust this just a little smidge. These are very technical terms. Okay, see, I like that. It's just barely not white. So I actually think I might make that one a little bit bigger. Bring it like that. And then, yeah, I like that. Everyone happy with that one? Okay, let's see. I'm going to check the comments here. Postcards. So I would love to know who you guys are mailing your postcards to. Flyers, social media. Okay, great. Is there any farming agents in here? I love farming. Okay, there's something still I'm not loving about this. We're going to work with it. Okay, I'm going to move on because I can get stuck on some of this stuff for a long time. Okay, so now I'm going to do the calendar part, because I think that's going to take up a decent amount of our space here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to elements, and I'm going to go down to lines and shapes, and I'm going to go to one of my favorites, and this is the square outline. If you go to the straight lines here, it will make your square bigger and smaller this way, but it will not change the thickness of this outline. If you use these circles on the outside to change the size, it will make the thickness a little bit less, which I personally prefer. Wow, 3,500. You are so amazing. Janie is up in Illinois. She is the hyperlocal agent and is doing some really amazing things. Okay, so I'm going to throw in another rectangle because I think that I want to cut out the top of this box to not make it look quite so formal. So now I need this same rectangle to be the same color as our background. So that's how I'm going to cut out the top of this box. Ta-da! Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just say that they are getting married in January. Oh, sorry, not getting married, closing in January. We're going to say that. Okay, again with these fonts. So you guys should know that I'm a huge perfectionist if you haven't noticed already. You know what? I'm gonna say March because that is a great month and that is my birthday month. Okay, I don't like that font, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here. I think I might be changing my mind. You guys, it is not unusual for me to change my mind several times. So to make everything capped, you just go right here. Love this font. I use it quite often. However, I do not like it like this. I like it a little bit bigger and much more spread out. So there's our measurement lines. You always want to make sure that you are staying within the aspects of your square here. Okay, see how much, okay, see how different that is with the space in the letters. I play with this all the time, so it's just kind of what you guys like. I'm gonna show you before and after. Okay, so here we were before, and here we are now. Look at the difference in how that spacing really elevates this. So now, as you can see, our box is a little bit too big, so we're just gonna drag it in. Okay, and I don't think so. I will do that to select everything. If you select too much and you don't want the box selected, which I don't, you can always hit your shift button, select the item, the element that you don't want selected, and it will deselect that for you. So there you go. So all I did was I hit that. I had everything highlighted. I'm gonna do it one more time. I have everything highlighted. I'm gonna shift button, select the box, and it'll actually unselect the box at the same time. So to easily move this, use this little guy right here. I have found also that using this right here will actually attach to Canva's grid lines a little bit better than if you just do it on your own. Also, if you're having a hard time moving it a very, very small amount, you scroll in with your mouse, you can get a lot more accurate with your movement. So I'm liking how that is looking. Okay, now we are going to start with our numbers. And I'm just going to do, real quick, we're going to do, let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. We're going to go back to, I don't know who is in charge of naming fonts, but they get ridiculous sometimes. Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and make that uppercase as well. Okay, I have a really, really great thing to teach you guys tonight, and I didn't know this for the longest time, so I'm going to show you right now. I'm actually going to change the font. Yes, yes, you can. Good point. You can definitely use your keyboard arrows to nudge it. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to just change this font here just for fun. I wanted to show you guys this real quick. So let's say you have, I want to change everything to this font because I've decided this is the way I want to go. And so I click on this because this is the one I like. This is the one I want to copy. And if you come up here to this roller, this paint roller, you're going to click it once and it's going to turn black at the top. And then come down here and click what you want it to, the one that you want to change. And there it is. It's the exact same space in between your letters as the March, and it is the exact same font and color as well. So this is a really big time saver, and I use this all the time. Also, I'm going to scroll out so this way you guys can see how this works. So let's say we want to change this into this font. So I'm going to select it again. I'm going to hit my paint roller, and you can take it and you can hold your mouse down and drag it over the fonts that you want to change, and it will change every single one of them. Pretty awesome, right? They've actually had that for quite a while, and I'm embarrassed to say I actually just this year figured that out. I used to always wonder, what the heck, what is this for? Okay, so it's not gonna let me do as much as I want. So I'm actually gonna put a space in between every single one of these, and then we'll back it down. So you always wanna select all when you're changing any of this. And we want this all on one. Okay. That's a little big for me. That. I think we can bump it. If you don't know, you can also use your control and your mouse scroller right here to zoom in and out. That is something that is a huge time save. Okay, so now we're going to start with our numbers on the calendar. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste. Sometimes people like to put a lot of text and content into one text box, and I actually prefer to not do that. It kind of depends on what I'm designing, but like for this example, since I really want things to line up very accurately, I do think that I will leave it into different text boxes just to make sure that everything is just perfect. Another thing you can do is when you have your grids on, like you see up here at the top, I'm going to scroll out just a little bit. So this way we can make sure that everything is lining up. Do you see my mouse? The arrows, when you come over to this grid and it makes the 2 arrows, click and drag that, and it's going to bring over a ruler, and you can put that anywhere on your, so if you wanted to make sure that all your S's lined up, which I'm going to turn them into numbers in a second, and they should, because it's just the exact copy, but I'm just showing you if you wanted to line things up just right. And then once you have it right where you want it, you can drop it and it'll actually stay on your screen while you're designing. So that way you can make sure everything is perfectly aligned. There's no reason anything should be messy. Okay, here we go. And I'm just gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna undo that. And we're just gonna make this simple. Come on. And I'm going to just let you guys know too, I am not the quickest designer. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Let's see. Okay. See, this is what drives me just absolutely bonkers. But also I want the actual numbers smaller, I feel like. Maybe a 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. What's going on here? Goodness, guys.
I think you have an extra day of the week there.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. I kept thinking something is off. I don't know what it is. I think my mouse is not working exactly how it should either. Okay. And this is where it just takes a little bit of patience and practice. And we're actually going to bring it down. And I'm going to put, and so now they did just update their line option, which I really liked because I never used the line option before because it was always really thick and chunky. And now they gave it a lot more options. So you see how chunky it is. This is what it used to always be like, and you couldn't change it. So now we're going to take this down to 1. We're also going to come over here and make this square. Okay, now I'm going to bring this up. We're going to put it right under here. All right, for time's sake, I'm going to and I just copy and paste a lot of this. Okay, so another thing that you can do is I like to lock these boxes because sometimes first I like to make sure they're in the back and then I'll lock it so that way I don't select it. So if you go over here to position, you can go to tidy up and you can just see it nudged it just a little tiny bit. I was just a little bit off on my spacing. And I love that option. So then we're just going to do it with this. Okay, don't mind the dates because they're not going to be right, but I'll make them right in a little bit. But I'm trying to get you guys some good information here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my line tool again, and I'm going to go to the very bottom. I'm going to bring another one, and I want it to be 3.2. Enough. Okay. So the next line should be sorry for the dogs. I hope you guys understand. All right, here we go. So now we lost our first one. Dante. So I'm going to bring it actually to the bottom of the 5 because it looks like this font, some of the letters are a little bit skinnier. Hello, Miss Ricky, welcome. Okay, so great question. Here is the cleanup tool. Let's see. You have to select multiple items to get them. Oops. So if you go here and if you go to tidy up, I'm going to show you some of the different things it'll do. So I'll have to undo, but so there it gave it to me exactly how I wanted it vertically. But if I go back and I do the tidy up, see how now it's, there we go. Oh, sorry guys. So this one down here, it's ready to go. There you go. So I don't like them that close together though. So I'm going to spread them out a little bit more, but then the tidy up tool is still going to help us. And I think that's what you meant by the cleanup tool. I want to say there's a cleanup tool and something else though. I always do that group. There we go. Okay, so now they're just evenly spaced. And you can, if you take your ruler lines and drop them off into the gray, they just disappear. I'm going to unlock this and actually make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so there is our, still not looking just right, is it? You know what, I might actually like this better. Okay, so this is a great opportunity to zoom in and just make sure your lines are real clean here. Also, as you can see, that gave me a black line. I don't want black, I want it to be gray. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now how are we going to show them what day they're closing? This is what the fun and cutesy part is. I have an idea. We're going to go back over to elements. We're just going to say a heart. And so I want to find a fun little, maybe that. So when I find something I like, I always just throw it on my screen, and sometimes I'll add a page and drop it. Sorry guys, and drop it over into my new page. So that way I can look at all my options together and see which one I like best. That one's okay. It's kind of a little kiddish. I don't know if I love it. But another option you have, you can come up here and you can go to graphics. It's still going to show you animated graphics, which I wish they had an option that was just static graphics. I think you can do that here, but again, it'll still show you. If you scroll deep enough, it'll still come up with auto or animated. Okay, I think I found it. I like this one. So let me show you something else. If you find something that you like, yeah, the house symbol would be really cute too. If you find something that you like, they usually give you a magic recommendations, and you can go to see all. So now it's going to bring up all of these. If you X out, it'll take you back to where you were. If you like, let's say I really like this one, again, see all magic recommendations. If it's something you use a lot, say like arrows or something, if you select it on your screen and you go up to this little I button, you can add to a folder if you want. You can see more like this, or you can star it, which is really cool, because if you are using something a lot, you can just go up to your folder or wherever you have your things stored in your Canva and find it easily and quickly. Okay, so I like this heart. We're gonna make it just a light pink, because I think that's cute. Okay. We're gonna bring it over here, and let's just say that. Okay, so that light pink is getting a little bit lost. I'm gonna make it maybe a little tiny bit darker. We're gonna send it to the back. And so there we have our little heart. I'm gonna kind of zoom in just a smidge. Oh, no. See, this is where the keyboard ones, see, it's just too much for me. So I'm gonna use this little guy, and I can use it a little bit better. Okay. Now, if I felt like this was too pink or something, instead of finding a different color, what I might do is come down here to the transparency and just adjust this just a little bit. It's not gonna affect it too much, but it is gonna fade that just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So now, let's see, maybe. I'm gonna make this a little bit thicker or wider. So what I'm going to do to mimic the design on the bottom, I use my roller pin. I guess it's a paintbrush, isn't it? A paint roller. I don't know how they chose a paint roller to be that, but oops. There we go. Kind of like that. What do you guys think? So now I'm going to take my line down here, copy and paste it, and I'm going to bring the line here, so that way I'm duplicating what's already in my design. So here's a really good opportunity to see, this is going to match the edge of that font box. I don't want it to match the edge of the font box. I want it to match the edge of the actual letters. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drag my ruler line. I'm going to scroll in here real tight. And I'm going to take this line and I'm going to move it exactly to this ruler. There you go. And that is how I get it to match really small specific spaces and measurements. So one thing I don't like is that these are not lining up. That will drive me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna actually do this real quick. Sorry guys, hold tight, my OCD. Oh, sure. Jeff and Nikki, not quite sure which one you are. So what you do is you're going to go up to File. You're going to make sure you show rulers and show guides. Those are, you both need to be checked. And then you come over to your ruler here on the edge. You can do it from, if you go from the top, it's going to be a horizontal line. If you go from the vertical side, it'll be if you go from the side, it'll be a vertical line as well. And then to get rid of the lines, like I have a few too many, you just take them and drag them back off to the gray area, and then they disappear. Okay, you're welcome, Nikki. Okay, so something that I don't like is that the save and the date are not the same. So I'm going to bump this to right before it's going to go to another line, and then I'm going to line these two up. So you see my red line over here. That means that I'm lined up here with the edge of the text box, and I'm going to move this one until I know I reach the other text box. And now the trick is messing with your spacing. Again, you guys are probably rolling your eyes, huh? And if that means I need to do my text box just a little bit, I will. That's just a little too much. All right. For the sake of time, we're just going to go with it. And I think I'm liking the black. So I actually might change everything. If you don't want any more gray, you want everything black, we're just going to select the black there. We're going to come down to the bottom where it says change all. Now everything is going to be black, even everything down here. So I'm filling the black, I feel like. Oh, and then that needs to be black as well. Okay, so now we're going to copy and paste that, and we're going to put it on the other side. Make sure it's all nice and lined up. No, way too much. Okay, I might not like that so close to. Okay, so now I have it where I like it. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm just making names up. I pretty much do for all of my designs. Make sure you guys are dropping your comment or your questions. It doesn't necessarily have to be about this exact design. It can be about anything. Okay, so now we're going to move this down. Okay, so here's another great example. I highlighted everything, and now you can see I have this box here lined up. And so you know what it is? I think it's the picture. So you don't want to move that picture. So we are going to shift, deselect the picture, and now just the box is selected. So now I think we're going to do another box like this. We're going to bring it up. So I like to really just keep mimicking some of the elements that I already have on here. So you'll see like the line I did earlier. So now it's up here as well. No, just back that off just a smidge. You can't tell the word smidge is deeply rooted in my vocabulary. It's too much. Okay, so now I think we're going to say, and the reason why I don't like doing all one text box is I really like to be able to mess with my fonts, my spacing, and everything. And when you do all one text box, it gets a lot more complicated. So if you were wanting to maybe give certain areas a little bit more oomph than maybe others, if you wanted to bring attention to it more than others, you can come up here to effects. One of the ones I use is this lift. And do you see how it just kind of gives it that 3D effect? I kind of like that. Sometimes I might go back and change it. I don't think I like it that heavy. So you can come down here and do this. It's just, it makes it a little bit bolder. Good, Laura, I'm happy. What? Okay, let's see. Do you have this as a template to buy? Ricky, everybody that's on the training tonight will get a copy of this. Sending a postcard. Pat, you know what? I try to think of really unique new things I haven't seen out there. And so this actually might be one of them. But, you know, we get, as realtors, I feel like, and I think that I can say this because I am a realtor, but as realtors, we kind of get in our own way sometimes when we're in the transaction because we do so many transactions. We forget that the other side is human. And this is a really exciting time for a lot of people, especially first-time homebuyers. Sometimes, you know, purchasing a house is one of their largest investments of their entire life, and it can be just as exciting as having a baby or getting married for a lot of people. So why don't we celebrate it as much as some of those other things? I don't know. And I also think when I buy a house, I'm like, how many times can I get in and look? And then sometimes I'll have a client want to go several times to look at a house. And I almost catch myself getting annoyed. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not, because this is so exciting for them. And, you know, to me, it's sometimes just a job, but I love it. I have to remind myself a lot that, no, these are real people and this is really exciting. Okay, I better stop messing with it here. Alrighty, let's see. What else can we do that would cuten this up? I feel like it would be fun to... We definitely need to do some sort of branding down here. So let's see, how would it look if we did a little bit of color? I like to see a little color. Down here. We're going to do, let me think. So how you get this long line that you see a lot of people using, and I'm going to fix this in a second. I usually do 3 spaces. So how you get it is you shift and then you hit, I'm going to just show you guys because I'm not even quite sure how to say this, but you do shift and then let's see here. Can you see this? And then this little line and dash right underneath your backspace button. So if you do shift and this, that'll give you the really nice line that can go in between some of your information there. I like to do again for the 3 spaces. I feel like that just seems to be enough. So on this one, since this is just more information, like contact information and stuff, we're going to make it a little bit smaller and a little bit more condensed. We might even see what it looks like. I tend to like this font a little bit more caps than not. So we're going to really take it down on size here. You know, they know who you are. You're already working with them. So really this is a little bit of branding, but more just for the excitement and the process. You know, this is you using an opportunity for just great branding. So I love that. Okay, I'm really liking how this one is. I feel like there is enough going on in the front that we are going to transition now to the back. So we already have, so let me, okay, hold on. Let me just start over so we can start from the beginning. So now we're going to come down. We just hit this add page. It will duplicate the exact same size and everything with the background color already. So we still have our cream back here. So the first things first, we're going to take our little box here. We're going to make a little stamp area just so we know not to, oops. There we go. And then we're going to do some lines just for, no, we're just gonna do one. And this is just to make sure that we stay. Oh, I know what I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna jump back up real quick. This is just where your address would go, all that good stuff. All right, one thing I am gonna do up here, since this is a postcard, is I like to do this once my design is completely done, just to double check. I'm gonna come over here to file, and I'm gonna go back down to show print or bleed lines, because this is going to show me exactly how it is going to print. If anything were off of, like, let's say we had this one bigger and it was like that, so you would think that M would still print because it is still on the design. However, since it is outside of that bleed line, it has a very high probability of getting cut off at the printer. And nobody wants to get this in the mail, ready to send it out, and realize half of your design is not correct or not, or cut off, excuse me. So we're gonna make sure all of our text is inside of our bleed lines. So now we're gonna go back. I'm just gonna turn that off real quick. Okay. You know what? There's something about this that's usually print bulk. Okay, so I'm actually a really big fan of Office Max. I get a lot of stuff there printed. I love that you can pick it up same day. I love that you can get one printed or you can get a lot printed. If I'm going to print a large amount though, I like Printivity. Just Google it, it'll come up. I don't get anything for sharing them, and that's totally fine, but that is probably more of my go-to for printing. Um, I was just trying to think if there is another one. I used a local printer here, but really overall, if I'm going to get a lot, if I was going to do that bulk, I would go with Printivity. I love their quality. They have great customer service. Can't necessarily say that for Office Max, but we use Office Max for our listing presentations on my team, and we like it because a lot of listing presentations you'll end up changing. So we usually only get 10 to 20 printed at a time, and that'll last us a couple weeks. And then if I need to make any changes, I will, or we'll just print more. But yeah, listing presentations, they should, if you haven't changed your listing presentation in at least a year, you need to. You need to, and I can help you with that. So you just send me a message. Oh, thank you so much, Lakisa. Express Docs, I have used them, I think only once. I really like sending out not postcards, magnets as well, and Magnet Street's where I go for them. I know everyone kind of rags on the magnets, but I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to a listing appointment and seen people's names on the refrigerator. That's not mine. Okay, so the most important thing is we're going to need a return address, and we're going to put your picture up there. So if you guys do not have branding photos, I highly, highly recommend getting branding photos, because one, it is just, well, really it's just more professional. And it's nice to have lots of options, I would say too. Sometimes if I am designing something darker, I'll go with something where I'm wearing darker if it is more of an upscale. So for example, if it's more of a luxury listing and not like a fun cutesy listing, I wouldn't use this one. I would probably use one of my more professional ones. But since this one's kind of fun, I actually might try to go with a different one here. I have branding photo shoots about at least once a year, if not a little bit more. And that's really pretty common, but also like what you should be doing. Everyone changes. Everybody needs updated graphics. And as a graphic designer, when I've worked with a lot of you guys here in the chat, and it's really nice for me to have an option of images. And I'm gonna kind of show you real quick. So this image right here would be great to use the background remover on, because I'm standing, I have a nice triangle there with my elbow. So if you go to background remover, it's gonna do it. And this is a perfect example. The magnets, I go to Magnet Street, I believe. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so this is a great example of one that, while I would use the background remover, perfect, right? I don't know what's going on here with my hair, so let's fix that. We're going to erase it. We're going to come over here And we're just going to just simply shave down this little bump on my head, right? Look how much better that looks. Ooh, I had some crazy hair going on. Okay, so that is another option that you could do. You could do something like this, or we could even put it down here. Let's do down here because I kind of like how it's looking with my elbow. Okay, so another thing, we're gonna flip this. I don't want my text on this side. I want my text on this side. And so I'm gonna flip my image here. You go to flip horizontal. There we go. I don't mind if, Lakeisha, you are awesome. Thank you so much for dropping that link also in the comments. I appreciate that. I don't necessarily mind if my elbow is cut off here, but I don't think I would really want like the other stuff cut off. So that is why. I also don't love the color of my face here. It's a little dark and I feel like I look a little red. So we're just gonna bump that brightness up just a smidge. Again with the smidge. I don't feel like I say that as much normally. And then take down the saturation just so I'm not quite so red in that. I don't know why it looks like that, but okay. So now we kind of have some of our basics stuff going on here. Okay, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just copy. So if you copy it on this one and you come down here and click here, it'll come onto this screen. So here's what we're going to do. I'm gonna have this fun. We're gonna say our name. I'm gonna put this in a cursive. Let's see, back to the fonts. Y'all are gonna kill me with these fonts, huh? Again, we are caps. We don't like the caps and we don't like the spacing. So we're just gonna go back to 0 for now and just until we find what we want. So 0 is a little bit too much because you see it's overlapping here. Don't really like that. And I'm just gonna go with my trusted big marker. So like that. And you know what? I might even bring it over me like this just to kind of have some fun with it. Well, no, I don't like that, I guess. All right. Back to the drawing board. And I'm gonna left justify that. I don't know if I'm loving this because you see how the G's are kind of hard to, that's not too bad though, is it? Okay. I hope you guys are getting good information out of this. Because I know that Canva can just be kind of overwhelming sometimes. They have so much great information, but you also don't know what to use and what to pass on. I would definitely use the roller, the paint roller, and the tidy up. I hope those were great tips for you guys. Okay, I'm liking this. So now up here, we're going to need to put our address. And a lot of you guys have state laws that's going to make you write certain things at the bottom. So make sure that you are putting in all of the information that your state has. It's really hard for me to design for other states because I don't know everyone's laws. So just keep that in mind when you are purchasing templates and that kind of stuff, that no designer is going to be able to keep up with all of those state laws. Okay, I'm just going to throw in a random logo here. Okay, so here is a great example of why when you are making a logo, here's a great example of why you would want a long logo and a tall logo, because this isn't a great space for a long logo. For example, this logo, see how it is just, if I were to do that, then I would have to put this either way below it, that takes up too much room, or way over here. So I want a nice tall logo as well. So my Stone and Story folks are really probably the best option for this. You guys are going to see my messy Canva. Don't look too close. It's kind of embarrassing. Let's see. think that, well, it must be underneath their, we're going to go back here. Okay, so here's another kind of smaller, taller logo instead of wide. We're going to bring this in so that way it's not quite so. So you're going to put your brokerage's logo there, and then you're going to come over. So you see how much different that is with a taller logo as compared with that wide logo. So now you can put a smaller one. I would even do like a good idea would be to have like a graphic on your logo, so that way you could repeat your graphic down here by you, or for example, a white and black. So the Stone Story that I work with, they have, this is their, oh, sorry, that's not very easy. This is kind of their repetitive graphic with their element that is, the S is basically their element with their logo. And this is great to have, because then if you ever wanted to just really hone in on your branding, this is going to give it a little bit of dimension that you might not have even thought about. So here is something I would do for this group, is I would send this to the back, and then I would drop that transparency. So there, right there, you have just a hint of logo. Like, it is not smacking you in the face. It's just a little bit of branding. It's back there. It's there. It's just a little bit. And I love that. So I highly recommend having some sort of element in your logo that you can do that with. And the Stone Story logo is a great example, just because they just used an S. You know, a lot of people think that you need to have an actual thing. No, it can just be a letter. But how they have it upright and turned, it's a really good pattern too. So I highly recommend that. We have it in white, light gray, middle gray, dark gray, and black. And so that's great to have all of those options. Okay, back to this. This is looking really nice. And so now we're going to just say right here, I think a really good idea would be to have some dates for upcoming events. So let's say, I don't know if I really love that text, but just bear with me here. I'm going to drop this down to not all caps. One thing I use all the time is Grammarly. I don't know if you guys also have that. I'm a huge Chrome fan because of their extensions, and it is a Chrome extension. Grammarly, you can it helps you with your grammar and your spelling and all of that, which I get going so fast that sometimes I just need a little extra loving. Okay, so now I'm going to come back here, and I really like kind of the look of this. So we're going to bring it down here. It's way too big though. Let's see here. So we can use this postcard for more than just save the date on the back, which is exciting. Let's let them know. You could do earnest money. At this point though, I mean, I'm guessing they probably have already given you earnest money. So maybe we should say like a home inspection date. Yeah, I like that. then let's do, oh yeah, walkthrough. That's a good one. We'll do, you know what? I'm going to take out date because it's clear it is a date. I don't feel like you necessarily need that, and it'll save us on a little bit of space. We're going to do, let's do termite. Or here, we'll do sewer. You guys get the idea. Now, I use my guidelines on Canva all the time, so. And then over here, we'll say, oh, actually, we'll do walk through here, and we'll do appraisal here. Okay, how is that? What do you guys think about that? Yes, Evelyn, we will be, thank you. We will be sending this out as a recording, yes. Hey, Danielle. Yes, that's totally fine, Danielle. Just jump in and we'll be sending out this recording after we are finished here. Okay, I'm gonna make that a little bit smaller. All right, I am feeling pretty good about this. What do you guys think? Is there anything that you guys feel like is missing, or you have any guys have any questions on any of this? And I am going to just run you through a few helpful tips when looking. Okay, great. All right, so now that we have our design, everybody I'm sure knows. Oh, well, that's new. Look at me learning on here too. Okay, so everyone knows, I'm sure, how to download right here. You can also come over here. If this was a social media link, you guys can also take it straight to any of those platforms if you have them plugged into your Canva, which I absolutely love. They have a really good calendar system for planning out your content. You do like that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a few things of what I like to do. Okay, so coming down to elements, I already showed you the magic recommendations and, oh, let me jump out of here. Some how to keep track of those. So something else, they have a really good video library as well to choose from. They are starting to get more audio, and I'm guessing that they're starting to do more audio because of all of the reels and TikToks that are coming out. And you guys can make your TikTok straight on Canva. I don't know if you know that, but it is amazing. One thing I wanted to show you guys on here is if you scroll down, so we usually get caught up kind of up here at the top. If you scroll down, I just like to look through some of these. Their frames have never been real great, but you can see now they're adding in some letters. Keep going. If you keep going, you will find that they've inserted more arches. I honestly don't even know what people would use some of these for. Arches, which I like, and that is a very big design trend going on right now. But let's just keep scrolling. Okay, here we go. So you can see now they're starting to get different fonts that you can use as images. And so maybe something that you might do with that, how you would use it. Yeah, Danette, I left. I'm going to change that before I send it out to you guys. I just did that for the sake of saving time. So I appreciate you pointing that out. And that is why I did that, just to save time. I know it looks silly right now, but I will update that. So, okay, we're going to come down here and we're just going to pretend like this is a blank. And they used to have all these letters all put together. Let's see. So how I would use this is, I would do maybe like a home. Okay, so we have H. And then you could even use like a circle that maybe isn't necessarily an O, but you could make it look like that. So how fun is that? Like a little wreath around the O. And then I don't know why all of a sudden they decided to not put all these letters together. All right, well, I think you guys get the idea. I don't want to, I would use the same font probably for all your standard letters. I'm not going to make this look perfect because I just want you guys to get an idea. Okay, so something I would maybe do is something like this, and see how my letters are kind of falling off the edge here. So I would space them out how I would want them. I probably want this pretty tight because it is quite large. So this is like that. And so then you can just highlight all of them and drag them all. And so then now they're resized there on your screen. And if you go back over to position and tidy up, there it goes. It's just perfect now. And now you could go over to house photos and start dropping in photos of houses. So then you would have, you know, houses inside of your home letters. So you could make that into a really cute little card as well and use that as a postcard, or you could use that as a social media post. So how you would want to do that. So how I would do changing this into, now I need it in, so I'm sorry, just to help keep myself organized inside of my Canva, I would write this as save the date postcard. I'm gonna do 7 by 5 because that's what it is. I usually try to be very specific on my naming because I have so many, but then I'm gonna come over here to resize and I'm gonna scroll down. A lot of times it has it saved in here for me, but it looks like I haven't used it in a minute. So we're gonna do 5.5 by 4.25. And we're gonna do copy and resize. So now it's going to actually keep the original and we're gonna make a new one. You will have to go in and fix a few of the sizing issues because again, you have to remember you are making it completely different. So you're gonna have to go in and clean those things up. But now you have a full second postcard if you wanted to do a smaller one, or if you wanted to post it on their own social media, then you could go. So I always size everything for Instagram because Instagram's the only one that cares about image sizes. And you can just type Instagram. So this is a pro feature on Canva. So if you don't have Canva Pro, you cannot do this. So this is exactly how I resize all of my items to be for social media. And again, I'm not going to make you guys watch me move everything, but again, you would have to resize it. You would get rid of that and move this to the middle, all of that good stuff. So that is exactly how you would resize it. Okay, guys, we have finished up our postcard. This did take me a little bit longer than it normally does. I'm just doing it myself, but I hope I was able to really give you guys some good tips and help you figure out some more of the quirks of Canva. And I am ready for your guys' questions over in the chat. And these questions can be about anything. These can be about branding, about marketing. It can be about Canva, whatever you want. I'm here to answer your guys' questions. So again, this recording will be sent out to everybody. So I'm excited everyone could jump on. You guys really surprised me with the show up. So I was a little nervous, but you guys are amazing. And thank you for being very patient with me. Pretty good in Canva. Yeah, you know, Canva is growing all the time. Like I said, I am learning new things, and you guys just be curious and keep learning and keep using it. It's a great program. They have so many awesome functions that are free, and I'll be honest, I was proficient in Adobe software because I've been a graphic designer for a long time. And before Canva, really, I would say the last 5 years, they have absolutely stepped up their game on the software. And have just really made it amazing. So I hope this was helpful. Next time we'll do something different. Maybe we'll do a flyer or something, and we'll keep it going. How many colors would you recommend? I like 3 colors, Evelyn. I like 3 because I like a light one, I like a dark one, and then I like an accent color. So those are typically that's typically the route I go. I usually like one distinct color that is your brand that is not gray or black. I would recommend usually jewel tones work really well. I'm going to jump out of the screen share real quick so I can talk and see y'all. That usually works really well to have jewel tones because they complement so many colors, and that is the route I usually go. Oh, I am going to show you one more thing because that's a really good question, and so I'm going to share my screen one more time. So if you are having troubles with choosing colors, or maybe you wanted a different color, I'm going to jump back to the original. Come over here to your left hand side, and if you scroll to where it says styles, this is an interesting little tab here. And what it is it will bring all of your brand kit right here for you. So at one click, you can change this entire template to your brand font. Isn't that cool? And then of course you can always just hit the undo button, but also the colors of your brand font. And if you just keep hitting it, it will remix it for you. So if you have this set up in Canva, it is super useful and very quick to change lots of things. But if you scroll down, you will see a lot of trending colors and font pairings that lots of people are using. They say it's trending. I look through here and I'm always like, oh, I don't know if that is, but okay. There are some really fun things. If you click on it, it'll just change it for you. So you can see, and then like I said, if you click it again, it shuffles it or whatever it calls it. So I really like that option inside of Canva. And if you're having some issues trying to pick what you want to use, that is a great tool. Okay, what other questions? That was a really good one, Evelyn. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, I think if that is all the questions that we have, I'll give you guys just another minute to drop any questions that you might have in the comment box. But if not, then you know what? We're going to wrap this up and call it a night. I really appreciate. How can we make TikTok?
Kelly,
Yes. Hi.
what colors are considered jewel colors or jewel tones?
Okay, let's take a look. That's a really good question. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen again. I actually think you can. So I would consider jewel tones like, I'm going to try to find something. Here we go. These are some really nice jewel tones. They're a little bit muted. Let me see if it'll pull this one up. I like this one right here. I'm trying to find it for you. This is what I would consider a jewel tone, or you know what, let's just come over here and we're going to jump over to Pinterest and it will bring it up. And oh, my apologies there. Okay, so let's see. These are some really pretty jewel tones. This color is going to be very similar to the one I was just showing you. This is one thing that I love to use Pinterest for, is colors. I have a whole board of colors. Here's another jewel tone. So they're usually a little bit darker and really good on the blues, greens, and purples. Those are my kind of go-to when I think about jewel tones. Thank you for that question. I hope that answered. See you later, Karen. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Okay, back to the TikTok. Let's actually see this here. We're going to do this. Jump out of here. So this is what my Canva looks like. It is a huge mess. So I almost always have to search on my toolbar here. And then once you search, it's going to pull up theirs first, but you're going to go over to your designs. Okay, so here's a TikTok that I have created in the past. So this is actually created inside of Canva's video editor, and it's not an image editor. So you can see at the bottom here that that's what's going to be the difference. Once you have let's see here, videos, if you upload videos, they will be in their own box here at the top. Oh goodness, I feel like I'm missing out here on some people trying to get in. Chat, sorry, here we go. Just double check. Okay. So if you upload an image, it'll go under image. And some people don't know this because you just don't upload videos, but you'll actually have options of videos here. And so you can see this is a great example of just a stock video that I have. So I keep mine a little bit organized in the stock people. Well, maybe where's my videos? I said I was organized and then I wasn't. So here are my stock videos. So I would maybe drag this one here to my timeline, and you can drop it anywhere. And it's going to go to the full length of the video, but it's easy drag and drop. And then you can use Canva just like you normally would with your images. So just like click on it, you use your quick text with just the T on your keyboard, and and then you can just add text over any video, and then you can automate your text if you want. If you click on that, animate here, you can do the burst. So then that will be on top of your image, and then you would just download it. You can add voice. What you would have to do is you have to either add audio, or you have to add upload audio of yours. So if you come over here, if you just type in audio, you come over here to audio. Here is a bunch of options that you can do. You can also preview it. But you can upload your own audio, and if you do that, it would be under audio here. Yes, Ricky, I can. How about next month, how about we do one for just video, if that would work for you guys. I really appreciate everyone being here and giving me all these great ideas. How awesome. So, and just real quick, I'm going to play this one so that way you can see. I made this entire TikTok inside of Canva. So this is a way that you can use Canva to really lead generate and just do some normal branding. As you can see at every single clip here, you have your name and your phone number at the top. And then these are just tips of how people can improve their credit score to purchase a home. So this is one of my favorite ways to really start utilizing the Reels and the TikTok videos. So we always try to keep them within, I like to try 30 seconds, if not a minute. And if you noticed over here, I did make this for TikTok, so that's why the arrow points right here, because inside of TikTok, this is where your little ad button would be, if you guys are wondering why it would be pointing there. But then, so here's what I would do. You can do a voiceover on these, but really what I would do if I were you is I would look for trending audio on TikTok and put that trending audio on this. And it honestly, on TikTok, it really doesn't matter what the audio is unless it's just absolutely bizarre. But if you use trending audio, people sometimes will listen, or they'll click the button on TikTok and just go look at all of the videos under one audio. So that's a good way to get additional views on your videos, is just using really popular sounds at that time. Your daughter's laughing at me. You know what? My kids are 8 and 9, and they teach me so much as well. So I'm right there with you. Okay, well, I am gonna just wrap this up now. So next month, it looks like we'll be doing video. So I hope everyone comes back for that. And I appreciate again everyone being here, and thank you so much. And we are going to just wrap this up and call it a night. So I will be emailing this out to everyone once we are done. All right, guys, how can we make Brittany, I will be on next month and we will do TikToks together. So check back, check your email, and we'll do that together. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye.